Welcome into the worst Broncos breakdown since 2017 when Denver lost 8 in a row. That's how bad it is. The Broncos have lost 7 of their last 8. Their only win against the Jags. Congratulations. And that is the worst stretch of football since 2017. That's a season, by the way, in case you're forgetting. Denver had 3 starting quarterbacks, 2 of which are out of the league. Paxton Lynch and Brock Osweiler. And Trevor Siemian would have been out of the league too if not for starting today for Chicago. So, the final from Charlotte, 23-10. It was awful. And the thing about this game that really ticks me off, that really pisses me off, is that all 3 phases were awful. But more than that, you made a 3-win Panthers team look like they were going somewhere, right? If you removed the records from the bottom of the screen and brought an alien down to earth and said, how many wins do you think that team in blue has? They would have said, oh, that looks like a 7-8 win team to me today. If you're so bad, you make a 3-win Panthers team look competent and look like a playoff team with an interim head coach, who, by the way, Hackett, you're next, mister. That's a big red flag in my eyes here. We're going to run through some stats. We're going to run through some highlights, stuff like that. But let me make it clear right now. Fire Nathaniel Hackett today. Leave him in Charlotte. He can go coach UNC Charlotte, the Miners. I don't give a damn. He's not cut out to be an NFL head coach. That is abundantly clear. His team got bent over and destroyed by a team that most fans couldn't even name the starting running back for going into this game. And yet the Broncos defense, which, they were awesome for so long this year, but at some point, they can only hold on for so long before Sam freaking Darnold in his first game goes 11 for 19, 164 yards, a touchdown. PS2, unfortunately, couldn't keep up with Devontae Adams in overtime last week, and DJ Moore had his way with him today. 4 receptions, 103 yards, and a touchdown. I've got some takes I want to get out there with you guys, but the stats, I'll throw them on screen for you. The Broncos' offensive numbers looked like this. 246 total yards and 125 passing. Russell Wilson, he just stinks. The Broncos just stink. The Broncos are the 3rd worst team in football. And I hate to be that guy that stands here right now and makes things worse for everyone, but we just got to call it out how it is. The Broncos, they're not bad. They're downright awful. They're right there with the Texans. And you know why I know that? Because they barely beat the Texans. And I was mad in September when they barely got by Houston. And all of you got mad at me for being a Debbie Downer. They're just a touchdown team. They're just a touchdown better than the worst team in football, the Houston Texans. Russell Wilson, I don't have the solution to try and turn things around, but I'll try and raise morale with this. Here's your best hope. You ready? You nail your first-round draft pick from the 49ers, who are currently leading the Saints 3-0. I got red zone on. You nail that first-round pick, hopefully an offensive lineman. You fire Hackett. You hire a good head coach who believes he can resurrect Russell Wilson, and somehow you get this roster turned around on offense, the offensive line, and you get this team moving next year. Because this year, they're awful. That's just the reality of it. I've got more hot takes. I don't even call them hot, because you can't be hot takes when you're a 3-win team in November. And it's once again going to be a very depressing December. But before I share that with you all, we've got a brand new sponsor here at the Broncos Breakdown. I'm super excited to share with all of you watching today. So today's Broncos Panthers recap is sponsored by Kamikoto. So Kamikoto makes great Japanese steel kitchen knives using traditional techniques that have been honed and perfected by generations of knife smiths. The knife comes in a heavy-duty ash wood box, which makes it a great gift this holiday season. Each knife is individually inspected, and they are so confident in their product that they come with a lifetime guarantee. Kamikoto knives are carefully polished. Both blade and handles are satin finished, making them smooth as silk. They are wickedly sharp and perfect for slicing meats and vegetables to prepare an amazing meal on every Broncos game day. Kamikoto knives are used by Michelin star chefs all over the world, and they are having a huge holiday sale right now. Plus, my viewers can get an extra $50 off any purchase and free shipping with discount code CHAT. Go to kamikoto.com/chat to get your knife set. Help support the channel. The link is in the comments and the description of today's show. Thank you, Kamikoto, for sponsoring today's show. Head on over, kamikoto.com/chat. Promo code CHAT to get $50 off plus free shipping. All right, let's get back to this recap and some of the highlights of this game. Latavius Murray, I could argue, was the only good thing about this game for today. Maybe the second best thing was Mike Purcell showing some emotion on the sideline. In case you missed it, Purcell and Wilson, well, Purcell came off the field saying, let's effing go. And, it was a bit of drama of always yelling at Russell Wilson, which, by the way, I don't know if anyone else saw this, but there was a moment in the second half where it looked like Brett Rippon was going to go in for Denver. And we were about to have a standoff of Wilson and Rippon on the sideline, both with helmets ready. And Wilson went out there, and it wouldn't have been any different. How could it be any different with Brett Rippon out there? Latavius Murray, though, was 8 yards away from becoming the first Broncos 100-yard rusher of the season. He had some great runs. He had a 52-yard dash, but ultimately, the offense, the defense, and the special teams, they all sucked. This is what I want to know, though. I think this is the big question today. What should happen first? Should the Broncos fire Hackett or bench Russell Wilson? They're both bad. I'm going to say Hackett is worse, though. And that's because you have to believe Russell Wilson will improve. You know why? You're stuck with him. That's what $245 million does. You're not stuck to Hackett, though. And maybe Russell is worse. But in the reality of this situation, you have to try with Russ. You don't have to try with Hackett. You can replace him. What you can't replace is Russell Wilson for 2022, this year, 2023, and 2024. His contract is just too big to move on from for the next 2 seasons. 2025, you can eat a lot of dead cap, but at least it's manageable. You got to believe that Russell Wilson can find his own way. Now, if you want to shut him down for the rest of the year so he can get healthy, I've talked about that before. I'm not heavily opposed. I'd like to see him gain more of a connection with Courtland Sutton, who had a decent game today. And hey, how about Brandon Johnson? I mean, these wide receivers for Denver, have really picked up, especially the UDFAs, Jalen Virgil, Brandon Johnson coming on late with Hamler and Judy out. So for Denver, they're finding some sparks and guys they usually wouldn't have. But honestly, at the end of the day, the offense still sucks. The defense sucked today. They don't suck, but they suck today. And special teams always sucks. When is the Broncos special teams unit ever going to turn around? Bring back Trenton Holiday, recapture him like 5 years ago, and put him on the field. Because nothing against Montreal Washington, but that was the biggest story. Who remembers in the preseason? Montreal Washington was the hidden gem of the draft. Just haven't seen it. All right, the Panthers stats against the Broncos now. Sorry, I got red zone on in the corner of my eye, so other teams are popping into my head here. Panthers, 349 yards, 164 through the air with Sam Darnold, 185 on the ground. That's a reality check. That is a fireable offense. When a team with their second and third string running back torch you for nearly 200 yards, and your greatest strength is a defense, that's the kind of stuff that gets you fired on the spot when you only have 3 wins and it's after Thanksgiving. 2 of 12 on third down, and Hackett after the game, by the way, was asked, hey, what is the most frustrating part about this loss, among many things? And for him, he said, third down, because that is something they have focused on so much. Hackett, you just dug your grave 5 feet deeper. You told the world, hey, we've been working on third down so much, and we were so bad at it today. It goes to show you're not an NFL head coach. If your biggest project, think about that, in any profession, if you make something your biggest project and it is the biggest failure of your job, It means you're not bad at your job. It means you're just simply not cut out for your job, right? If you focus all of your time and energy on one thing, and that one thing is the worst part of the game, what are we doing here? You are not made out to be an NFL head coach if you can't get the one thing you focused all week even remotely right. All right, before we sign off, help me out. We are closing in on 11,000 subscribers. There is no other Broncos YouTube channel out there that is going to give it to you straight. There's a lot of other guys. They're going to sugarcoat things. They're trying to pump you up a little bit, make things feel a little better than they are right now. No, it sucks right now. That's the truth. It is more than sucks. It's sucky. It's awful. You know what it is? In a word, it's third. It's the third worst team in football. That is today's recap of the Broncos Panthers game from Charlotte, where Carolina knocks off Denver. And please, Peyton, I sent you a letter. Fire Nathaniel Hackett.